Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Mike with Bound for Freedom here today in the garage working on the Lexus. So today what we're actually working on is actually a replacement of something that I made myself. So a couple months back I actually made a tailgate cover-ish. Went down to Lowe's, got some 1/4 inch plywood and coated it with Raptor liner, and it held up okay. It was something that needed to replace the carpet because I needed to get it done and I didn't want to spend the money on a mountain hatch. Now for my dad's birthday, he has a Tacoma, I went down and visited with Fred, who's the owner and founder of Mountain Hatch, and he gave me the breakdown of the product, showed me around, and I kind of fell in love with the product. So I went ahead and scrounged up some pennies and ordered it. So it is time to get it installed. Now I do have some problems that I think I'm going to be able to fix, but I'm hopeful that it's not going to screw it up, and let me explain. So when I made my fridge slide, I incorporated the fact that I only had a 1/4 inch of play in there. The Mountain Hatch is actually a 1/2 inch of cutting board material. The MDF that I was using, or excuse me, plywood that I was using, is only 1/4 inch. So what happens is when I built my fridge slide, it hovers just barely above the current tailgate cover. And when it's fully loaded, the rivets that I use to make it hold together actually grind on the tailgate cover. So that's gonna need to be addressed, but we should at least be able to get the Mountain Hatch installed, and then I'm gonna have to go visit my brother-in-law and have him weld up the fridge slide that I made, and that's gonna alleviate the rivets, which I think will fix our issue. I think will fix our issue. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get that done today and at least get my initial thoughts and impressions on the Mountain Hatch, which I'm super excited about. So follow along, let's get started. Alrighty, so this is the issue that I think I'm gonna have. So on the board that, or excuse me, the cover that I made here, you can see as the rivets, and it may take me a second. So these rivets actually hit on there, and you can see the tolerance. Let me see here, is it's pretty close, a little bit too close for comfort. So I know it's gonna actually mess up the Mountain Hatch. So what I'm gonna need to do is take this fridge slide off, take it to my brother-in-law, have him pop these rivets out and weld this all together, and that should fix that issue. And then I'll have just some slight dragging of the slide, but it won't actually dig in, which I think will be okay. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off and get the Mountain Hatch installed. Seeing how I went ahead and installed nutcerts here, I'm gonna go ahead and see how that may have screwed me, how I'm gonna go ahead and fix that if it does, or if the Christmas tree clips that they've supplied is going to work with the nutcerts that I put in there. I'm not sure about the tolerances, so let's get started. Alrighty, the first thing that we need to go ahead and do is remove these screws. Just that easy. So that has been removed, and I'm going to zoom in here. So these are the nutcerts that I installed, and I've done a few of them. The Mountain Hatch actually goes into the traditional holes, so I am not certain how that's going to work out. I may have to either drill these out a little bit to get the right kind of size, which would be okay, or I can just use the bolts, but I'd prefer to use the Christmas tree clips because I think that'll just look cleaner and less awkward with just having half clips and half bolts. So let's go ahead and open the Mountain Hatch. Now the fun starts. Sweet! Here's these Christmas tree clamps and sweet sticker. All right. One quick note I will put in there, I really do appreciate the way they package this. Even though it's a cutting board, you know, I saw, or you just saw me open it with a razor blade. They install, or they place this upside down So if I really even did dig into it with a razor, you wouldn't see it. So big kudos to Fred for thinking of that, because that's just smart thinking. So yeah. Let's line that up. Yeah, that's gonna look great. Now I wonder if, honestly, I probably could just use these. So, I want to see, since these are recessed over here, how that would look. I mean, that doesn't look horrible. But the holes are slightly off because of the nutcerts. So let's see here. I'm just gonna have to drill these out, unfortunately. So whenever you install nutcerts, if anyone's ever done it, the more you pull kind of like a rivet, it actually slightly cants to one side of the circle of the nutcert, and it moves the location. So if you don't do it perfect, it's not always on point. So we're gonna go ahead and drill these out. Now, I had a feeling that might happen. So these are Christmas tree clips that they give you, and we're gonna go ahead and, because I already know that these are not gonna work, in the holes that I've installed, just because they won't fit. So I'm going to drill them out, and I came prepared. So let's get started with that. I think that's going to work. I know how to do it. Ah, don't like that. That's the downside of rivets or nutcerts. They were all working so good. That's gonna be fun. There we go. All right, next, this one. Work. It's always something. Alrighty, so that one's done. That one kind of screwed up on me. You can see in here, not sure if the autofocus will get, but you can kind of see it didn't drill all the way through. Like this one here, straight through. That one's almost straight through. This is why I hate rivets or riv nuts, whatever you want to call these. So let me figure out how I'm going to get to these, and I'll figure that the hell out. So let's see. Alrighty. So took off my cover panel here. I am trying to get a good grasp on that. There we go. That sucked. Alrighty. Back in. Alright, so I've got one left. So my last bad apple is this one here. There ain't anywhere I'm going to get to that. Maybe a smaller bit. Stupid things. It's always one. I only have like 3 threads that are showing. And I'm pretty certain that'll go in, but it's not where it needs to be. Why did I do that? These things suck. But it makes sense why they did that. Can't hate them for that. Why did I do this though? That's the problem. Old Mikey thought I was ahead of the curve. Let's see here. May not even need to worry about it. Now I gotta worry about that. I ain't going all the way through. Just the tip. What would you guys do? Keep drilling it. Did that work? That kind of worked, actually. Whoever shouted in the back, keep drilling. Good job. I don't think that's enough. I mean, it could work. We're gonna maybe just knock that one down. Because these all will install. See, the ones that went through the other nutcerts went in fine. This one's almost there. It wants to go home, but it's not there yet. I mean, if I didn't do these nutcerts, this would be the easiest install to date. Almost as easy as installing a patch. Super simple. I really like that. But alright, that one's done. I'm gonna call that good enough. Look at that. Boom. So that's installed. This looks great. Big shout out to Fred over at Mount Hatch. I mean, they've done just such a killer job with this, and I'm really excited to use it. Also, just, you know, cutting surface, perfect koozie cup holders. I mean, and support Made in America. Love that. Now the key will be, how's it sit with the fridge? Oh yeah, that's gonna hit. I mean, you guys probably went for a little ride. But yeah. So you can see, I've got an issue. The rivets have to be, so I'm gonna have to basically take this off, have it welded, and that will fix that. It's still gonna mar this, unfortunately. Now I just need to decide if I want to fix it so it doesn't do that, or if I just want to accept the fact that it's gonna get marred up because it's a cutting board. I haven't figured that out yet. Nevertheless, it is what it is. So what did you guys think about that install? Overall, I think it went pretty great. The install, if I hadn't had any issues with the nutcerts, I really think that's like a one banana job at most. I could probably knock it out in about 10 minutes. So that's pretty awesome. The quality of the product's actually fairly amazing, fairly thick. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with it. Once I fix the fridge slide, and I think what I'm gonna do for that is actually re-drill a couple of the holes on the cradle and have it basically rotate up slightly. And then that way, because the back is fine, it's just the front. And I think if I can cant it just a tiny bit, about, I would say probably about a ½ inch, I think would be just fine. I think there's enough room to adjust it there. So I'm gonna mess with that, but overall I think it's gonna be just fine. If not, I'll go ahead and get it welded up on the cradle and just be done with it. So nevertheless, if you guys wanna pick up one of these for yourself, head on over to mounthatch.org. They run about $229 for the Land Cruiser. They're available in black. If you have a Tacoma, I think they've got a couple of different colors. So you've got a lot of options. But for me, black's perfect. I think it's gonna hold up well. And I'm really excited to be able to support a #1 local company, but also something that's made in America. And that's just awesome. So if you guys wanna take a peek at them, go give them a like and shout out on Instagram. And of course, if you do like what I put out today, please give me a like and maybe a subscribe. Maybe recommend this to your friends. I don't know, I don't care, just put the word out. All right, you don't have to, but I would appreciate it if you did. Thanks so much. I look forward to showing you guys the next video because we've got some exciting content coming. I've also got some 4Runner content that's gonna be coming out with a 5th gen, and let me give you a sneak peek. Oh, so heavy. It involves these, they're Kings, they're blue. So I'm really excited about that. The autofocus on this is probably going crazy. Nevertheless, thanks so much, guys. Hope you guys are well, and I will talk to you soon.